Last night's census recognised same-sex marriages for the first time, a key move in the official recognition that same-sex couples continue to campaign for. That fight also continues in the Christian faith. For many, there are no answers to how you can reconcile religious beliefs and sexual orientation. This Friday, a support group in Brisbane will open its doors to help those facing that personal conflict. Ben Gresham understands it firsthand, and after you hear what he's been through, you'll understand why he wants to help others, as Gina McEwen reports.
Ben Gresham is a 23-year-old Christian living in Sydney. His personal story of trying to reconcile his faith and his sexuality is alarming, but it's this experience that has driven him to make a difference in other people's lives.
There are so many people right across Australia that are going through very similar circumstances, that are gay or lesbian, and dealing with their sexual orientation in very Christian environments that often don't understand where they're at.
Ben is the Sydney Youth Coordinator for Freedom to Be, an organisation that provides lesbian, gay, bi and transgender people from Christian backgrounds with a safe place to share their stories online.
I think the online social media aspect of Freedom to Be and our website is incredibly important for young people in particular, because that's how we interact with people these days. You know, we jump on Facebook, we go on Twitter, and we communicate via the internet. We see people jump on the online community on our forums who are quite literally almost about to take their lives. And then we see, you know, through weeks and through months of just connecting with us on the online forums and connecting with some of our moderators on there, we see their lives completely transformed.
Paul Martin is a Brisbane psychologist who works with young people trying to unite their faith and their sexuality. He believes the online forums, like those provided by Freedom to Be, are an extremely valuable resource for those who have faith and are same-sex attracted.
This type of forum is actually saving lives. So many people in the practice that we have, which specialises in the area of same-sex attraction, have been to these programs and have attempted suicide, or are drug addicted or alcoholics or involved in some of the most damaged people I've ever met. So by having an online forum, it finally connects them to people who know and understand the struggles they've been through.
Now openly gay, psychologist Paul Martin once led a regional chapter of Exodus International, a non-profit organisation aiming to help homosexual people become heterosexual. Paul now doesn't endorse any program run by Exodus, as he says the theory is inconsistent with what research now says on the topic. Exodus Asia Pacific was not available for comment. So what happened to Ben Gresham when at 16 he finally revealed to his Hillsong church leaders he was gay?
You know, the reaction was, I guess, pretty much expected at the time, but it still hurt. The reaction was, you can change. Many others have done this. You can beat this. It was almost like something you would say to somebody who's an alcoholic or a sex addict or, you know, has a heroin addiction.
A spokesperson for Hillsong has said it's never been the church's official position and will not be in the future to refer people to such programs. But at the time, Ben's Hillsong leaders referred him to what would be 3 years of therapy and programs aimed to cure his homosexuality. Ben was required to attend almost 3 hours of class after school for a total of 60 days at a time.
At the end of each day, you'd answer accountability questions, and these were used to monitor progress. So some of these questions included, you know, had you had thoughts about other men? Had you masturbated? Had you looked at pornography? Had sex? And if I would kind of see how many days I could go without, you know, masturbating or without thinking about another man. And I would measure my progress. And every time that I had a fall, which was, you know, I masturbated or something, I would immediately, you know, punish myself and think of myself as a complete failure and go, this is the reason why God's not going to change me, because I've stuffed up again.
Did you ever pray that you weren't gay?
All the time. Even though we weren't going to church all that much then, I still believed in God and I still knew homosexuality was wrong. And so I would pray to God every night that he would take this away from me, that he would make me just like everybody else.
Paul Martin understands the damage these programs can cause, both from his own personal experience of going through a so-called ex-gay program, but also from his career as a psychologist, treating people who have desperately tried to change.
You get a whole range of psychological problems that people come into these programs with. These programs promise to change that through repairing this damage, so you can then grow into the fullness of what God intended you to be, which is heterosexual.
At the end of the third program was my lowest point. I realised that things weren't changing. I believed that God had forgotten me, or that you know, I could do nothing to get me, you know, on the path where he wants me to be. Like, there's nothing I could do, and I just felt that I was in complete failure, and so I pretty much spiraled into depression, and then this depression got worse, and you know, I could hardly get out of bed in the morning, and you know, this escalated into self-harm, and then even into 2 suicide attempts.
Soon after this, Ben Gresham found the organisation Freedom to Be. Ben now works for them as a key youth coordinator because he strongly believes that no one should go through the torment he endured as a teenager. But along with providing safe online discussion forums, one of Freedom to Be's real successes has been setting up chapters where people from the online forums can meet face to face.
One of the most encouraging things I think about groups like Freedom to Be and about what's happening here is one day, you know, there'll no longer be a need for groups like Freedom to Be, because one day a gay man or a lesbian woman or a same-sex couple or whoever will be able to go into church and they'll be welcomed and they'll be loved.
That's Ben Gresham. He's a youth coordinator for Freedom to Be, ending that report from Gina McEwen. And if you or someone you know would like to access Freedom to Be's online forums, head to www.freedomtobe.org.org, and you can find that link on our website, freedomtobe.org. And Freedom to Be is launching their new chapter in Brisbane on Friday. It's 8:21.